Dear colleague, Sri Vaila Raviji, dignitaries on the dais, my young friend Harris Piran, friends. Let me also take this opportunity of paying tribute to the memory of one of the most outstanding men of his generation, a person whom I had the privilege of actually spending a whole evening with almost 10 years ago in the residence of Mr. P.K. Kunalikutti. And it was a delightful time and I learnt much. It was just after the Congress President had actually been to Calicut for the meeting that Harris spoke about. And it was very fresh in his mind, it was fresh in my mind as well. And we had a long discussion on the spiritual and cultural traditions of Kerala, on the spiritual and cultural traditions of Indian society, and how it is very important for the younger generation to keep these values and ideals alive. I still remember in the discussion that I had with him, one of the puzzles that I put forward to him was that how in societies like India, when people get educated, when people get industrialized, when people get urbanized, instead of modernizing their social outlooks actually narrow, irrespective of religion. It's a great paradox, and if I may say so, a great tragedy of modern life, that the more educated you are, the more urban you are, the more industrialized you are, greater is the probability of your being more obscurantist in your social outlooks. This is not what textbooks teach us. Textbooks teach us that with education, with modernization comes broad-mindedness and tolerance. So I think the big challenge for India, big challenge for societies like Kerala particularly, is to ensure that the process of economic growth and the process of technological transformation does not destroy the basic fundamental cultural values of social peace, of social harmony, of tolerance and accommodation with each other, which has characterized our society for hundreds of years. I think that's the big challenge before us. And I think Shihab Thangal ji, in his own way, demonstrated a very profound commitment to these basic values. Rooted in his own tradition, rooted in his own religion, he had a broad-minded approach to all different traditions, to different outlooks, and he was able, in his worldview, to accommodate, not just accommodate, but also respect and try to understand the other person's point of view. So I think the biggest tribute that we can pay to this great man is to recall his values, his ideals, and resolve to continue to walk in the path that he illuminated for so many of us for so many years. Kerala continues to be the outstanding example of social harmony for the rest of the country and indeed for the rest of the world. But we should not take that social harmony for granted. We should not take the social peace for granted, because we have forces of intolerance, we have forces of bigotry, we have forces of prejudice from all sides, from all corners, of all colors, waiting to destroy these wonderful traditions that exist in Kerala and in the rest of the country. So let me end by apologizing that I will not be able to stay with you for very long, because I have a parliamentary consultative committee, and you know how members of parliament behave. If ministers are late for their functions, they will move a privilege motion against you the next day. So before that happens, I really seek apologies from all of you. I have to be in Parliament House by 6:30, but I did make a promise to my young friend that I will come for a brief while as a token and as a mark of my respect for Shihab Thangal ji and for my fascination and continued love for the wonderful social traditions of Kerala, which continue to show the way to the rest of the country. Thank you very much.
for long-term, bedridden, terminally ill patients and their families. Much of the credit goes to this single man who have been tirelessly working day and night, weekdays and weekends, to mobilize people, to sensitize the communities, to provide a supporting hand and a healing touch to those debilitating patients who would have their most beautiful smiles on their face the moment they see Mr. Hamza and his colleagues coming to their destitute and solitary life confined to the four walls of their homes. The areas of functions of DNIP care is not only confined to home visits, website and blog. It is unbelievable to realize the fact that he has been doing all this when he is holding a very responsible position as an officer in you all that he has been nominated to the board of Delhi State Cancer Institute as a member of their ethics committee as a recognition to the exemplary work he and his organization has been doing for the last 4 years for cancer patients. Such a great cause and a man, and it is our privilege to have you here to receive this award, and we are very proud to announce that many of our members are actively taking part in DNIP care activities as volunteers. We wish all the very best to Mr. Kavi Hamza and DNIP care in their all present and future endeavors, and we strongly reaffirm our constant commitment to your noble cause. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I, on behalf of DNIP Care family, would like to express our gratitude to KMCC and its respected office bearers for recognizing the mission under Delhi's National Initiative in Palliative Care, thus DNIP Care, headed by our President Mr. A.T. Sainuddin, and the concerns of all ailing patients in and around Delhi. Started on 15th August 2008, the mission under DNIP Care aims at development and practice of a sustainable, cost-effective system of palliative home care with active community participation, that is underlined, for patients suffering from long-term bedridden, incurable, life-limiting illness, including cancer. So, it is not my award or it is bestowed on me, but that is on all of our volunteers and well-wishers. It is for all of them. So, at this occasion, I would like to just make 3 appeals before all of you and the dignitaries here. Our Chief Minister was supposed to be here, so our fervent appeal to our Honorable Chief Minister is to make Delhi the second state after Kerala in declaring a policy under NRHM and also in the forthcoming National Urban Health Mission to initiate a government-sponsored palliative home care system for all debilitating patients. This is there in Kerala, and out of the 100 patients, 70 patients are getting this kind of care, whereas in the rest of the country it is less than 2%. So it is the necessity of the time. Our appeal to the respected union ministers and members of parliament is to ensure a balance in the national regulations through appropriate amendments in the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances NDPS Act 1985, so that the pain relief medications are available and accessible to the needy Indian citizens and resources for ailing patients around us, so that we can say to them, we are with you. Thank you very much. Thank you once again.